I already started the video. It literally is 7, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. I probably just hold it like that the whole time. Even though
So you guys are what, 11 years old about?
Yes.
10, 11? Okay. There were some Civil War soldiers that was actually as old as you were in the Civil War. The youngest soldier that we are aware of that was fought in the Civil War, but not here at Gettysburg, was 8 years old. There was a 10-year-old also from Ohio, and then in this battle here, the youngest soldier that we are aware of was 12 years old, so just a year older than you guys. He was a young drummer boy fighting for the North, and on the third day of the battle, he's hit in the head by part of a cannonball that punched a hole in his head, and the only way the doctors could save his life was to take a silver plate and screw it into his head to cover that hole. And he lived. He lived to be a ripe old man. But to be a drummer boy in the Civil War, you actually had to know maybe between 30 and 40 different types of drum beats, because the soldiers in both armies relied on the drummers to tap out a different type of beat to tell them when to get up, when to eat, or when to do this or that. Now, during battles, you were not drummer boys during battles. During battles, you would put down your drum, and you would become a stretcher carrier, which means you would go out on the battlefield, you tried to find guys that are hurt really bad, and drag them back to a hospital so the doctors could work on them. Now, girls also were soldiers, but they had to keep that a secret. These were not times when girls were allowed to be soldiers, so they had to disguise themselves. You had to cut your hair, dress, and talk and act like a man. What was that? Kind of like Mulan. You're right. Yeah. Good analogy. Yeah. Right. You had a question there? Drummer boys sometimes did use guns, and one drummer boy, a 10-year-old kid from Michigan, actually was awarded a medal for shooting a Southern soldier. How about that? So we're going to drive into the town of Gettysburg. I promise to show you a couple of buildings that have battle damage. We'll see a building that has a cannonball stuck in it, and we'll talk about this battle as well. So you already heard me say this was the biggest and bloodiest battle fought in the American Civil War. So what does that mean? That means that about 10,000 soldiers, north and south, were killed in this battle. And on top of that, about 30,000 more soldiers are shot. I'm going to show you some bullets as well. And because of the size of the bullets, about the size of your thumb, they did tremendous damage through the body. And that's why the doctors would have to saw off an arm or a leg to try to save the soldier's life. So if you were shot in the arm or in the leg in the Civil War, maybe the doctor would have to saw that arm or leg off. So the first thing I want to show you, just before we get to the Jenny Wade house, is Cemetery Hill. Why is it called Cemetery Hill? Well, look out there. You can see the tombstones out there. Some of them are there during the battle. Now, if you look over here on your right, this way, out here, you'll see how the North has put cannon up on top of Cemetery Hill to protect it. Hope you can see it, because I can barely see it. There we go. And this is also attacked by Southern soldiers. Southern soldiers charged through the field over here on our right.
I zoomed in so I can see better.
That means they were shooting at each other at short ranges around those cannon over there. The North is able to hold on to Cemetery Hill just like Little Round Top. Now, we're going to leave Cemetery Hill, and we're going to drive down to the town of Gettysburg. So these buildings right here weren't here at the time of the battle. Jenny Wade house is coming up shortly on your right over here. This little brick house over here, in about 5 minutes or so, you'll see the Jenny Wade house. She was in that house there when she was shot to death by a bullet fired from the town of Gettysburg by a Southern soldier. Now, he wasn't trying to shoot her. What he was trying to shoot was past the house and try to hit Northern soldiers on Cemetery Hill. The bullet missed its mark and hit Jenny while she was in the kitchen. So we're still down just a little bit. So in about half a block on this side of the bus, you're going to see some bullet-damaged house. Right up here in about half a block or so, if you keep looking to your left over here, this house right here with the black shutters, and right here, slow down. Right here, see the white spots on the sides and the front of the building there? That bullets did that, okay? Everybody see that?
Over there. Because that's oxidized white. I was sitting on this side. I don't want to.
So the South is going to take over the town and hold on to the town through most of the battle. So Southern soldiers are going to climb up on rooftops, attic windows, church steeples, and what are they going to try to do? They're going to try and shoot at Northern soldiers way back on Cemetery Hill. So the damage you saw in that house back there are evidence of Northern soldiers shooting into the town. So just over the hill here, take a left. Now, the lady that was killed, Jenny Wade, she was born in this house coming up right here on your right, this gray house.
This
right
guy.
Here. That's where
Right
she was
there?
born.
Right there. I think right
This
there.
gray house right here?
Yep. Yep.
I think she was killed in her.
So during and after the battle, many buildings in Gettysburg became hospitals. All the churches, all the houses became hospitals, and badly injured soldiers are taken into the houses for treatment. Now imagine, there are about 2,400 people living in this town at the time of the battle, and they are really scared about what's going to happen. You know, what would you do if suddenly a battle erupts all around your house? What would you do? Would you get out in your cellar? Would you stand out in the middle of the street and get shot at? No, these people are down in their cellars hiding. And above them now, they can hear Southern soldiers going up and down the street, breaking open doors, rummaging around, looking for food and clothing and things like that. Because the Southern soldiers are looking for a lot of things up here in Pennsylvania. Up here on your right, on this side of the bus, there's a church, one of the churches that was used as a hospital. And during the battle, between these doors up here, just a little bit, right through these doors right here, are the operating tables. The doctors are in there during the battle, sewing off arms and legs. And what did they do with them then? They tossed them out into the street. And it was the job of other soldiers to pick them up and carry them away. Over here on this side of the bus, this kind of cream-colored building over here, this was a girls' school at the time of the battle. So you girls, if you lived in Gettysburg at that time, you'd be going to school here. But above the right porch roof, okay, look up there, and hopefully you can see that little black spot up there. Can everybody see that? That's a Southern cannonball. That's a Southern cannonball stuck into the wall. Take a good look.
Between the two middle windows. Found it! Found it! Found it! I want to get a picture. You want to get a picture? Sure. Yeah, wait, just snap a picture. Yep, that's the cannonball. I saw it. Yeah.
So imagine if you were living there and all of a sudden your house is hit by a cannonball. How would that sound?
Horrible. Good.
Amazing.
What?
That's the little black spot. Harry!
You got it? You got to move on. Okay.
I'm going to get a picture.
I'm videoing still.
So, if you look to your right and to your left now, on the corners of these two buildings where you see these little square plaques, that tells you that the buildings were here. On your left over here, above the mailbox, there's another little sign that says that this house over here was here during the battle. So there's one of the houses that you asked about that was here at the time of the battle. Okay, so you studied this part of American history, right? So you know that the Civil War begins in 1861. And for 4 long years, this country is at war with each other between the North and the South. This becomes the largest and bloodiest bloodiest war fought in American history. Now, you know that the main reason as to why this war was fought was why?
To keep the country together.
Slave. To keep the country together. Yeah, good point. To keep this country together and to get rid of slaves. Abraham Lincoln wanted to try to do both. And that's why he wanted to fight this war, was to get rid of slaves and to pull this country back together again. Because Lincoln did not want to become known as the last president of the United States. He didn't want this country to fall apart while he was president. However, during the war, for the first 2 years of the war, things weren't going very well for Abe Lincoln at all. He's starting to lose battles down in Virginia. And there's a Southern general. Is one of you studying Robert E. Lee? All right, there we go. And back there too? 2 of you? Okay. So you 2 guys are studying Robert E. Lee. He was the main reason why the South was continuing to win this war. And battle after battle, he is a really good general, and he just beats the pants off the Northern Army time and time again. So he's a very good general, and like I said, he's the main reason why this war goes on as long as it does. So Robert E. Lee, in the summer of 1863, after another great victory down in Virginia, Lee now decides to bring his army up here into Pennsylvania. Now, Lee had 2 reasons in coming up here that summer and visiting us in Pennsylvania. One was military. Lee believed the stop sign. You turn right. really believe